What's going on, everybody? I hope you're doing great today. I want to come to you with a video talking about caring for people in a down market. I know right now our market is ripping and roaring, right? I mean, we are just absolutely, it's crazy. It's absolute mayhem right now. But the truth is if you've been in sales long enough, you know that you're going to have the ebbs and flows, right? So right now, we're going, and it is still a challenging market, don't get me wrong, with increasing pricing and tariffs and all these labor issues and things like that. I'm not saying that it's a perfect market by any means, but I'm simply saying that it's a much better market than what we had back in the Great Recession and things like that. So one of the things that I firmly believe, and I had a leader one time in my life say, is you need to act and coach your salespeople, or if you're a salesperson currently, you need to act in your everyday business as if you are in a recession, right? What are the things that you would do if you were in a recession, if you were grinding it out, trying to find deals, just getting in there, doing everything you can to be successful? What would that look like for you? You see, when we were in the COVID area, I was still selling. And so COVID had just recently hit the markets. People were terrified no matter what state you lived in. And that kind of March timeframe, I remember specifically being in new home sales, thinking to myself, I haven't seen a single person walk in our door in probably 2 weeks. We weren't getting any leads off of our social media. We weren't getting any traffic from, people calling in or anything like that. If anything, a lot of people were just simply just trying to, try to figure this thing out and navigate tough waters. You see, in that moment, I had two options, right? One, I could go heavy on a marketing campaign. I could be pounding the phones, hitting emails, and there's a time and a place for that, don't get me wrong. But in that particular moment, what I decided to do was go through my backlog. So I walked in, I printed off every single one of my people that were once a prospect, or maybe I said, hey, they're not buying now. People that I, had old messages from, and I just printed off a huge list. I sat down one day and I took a phone and I called every single one of them. And many times I got pushed straight to voicemail, or in the rare occasion somebody would pick up. I would simply start off by just going, hey, this is Stanley over with so-and-so's builder at this community, and I'm not calling to sell you a single thing. I'm simply calling to check in on you and your family. Are you guys okay? Do you have supplies? Do you need water? I have some water in my model. You guys need food. What can I do? Is there a need I can fulfill for you? You see, it was such a pivot from what they had been getting drilled on the phones with, right? I mean, if they had gone to 5 or 6 different communities, I guarantee you all 5 or 6 of those different sales consultants were calling them, begging them for a deal, right? Hey, we're throwing incentives. We're doing anything we can. And the truth was, my company was doing the same stuff. And yeah, I could have told them about how they could save on closing costs, or how we're going to give them a great deal or a phenomenal interest rate. But in that moment, what I decided to do was create a differential between me and all the other sales consultants that they had seen. Not because I was better than these other guys or women, not because I had a better product or anything like that, but I simply wanted to call them and tell them that I care for them. You see, guys, in a down market, my first step is to not sell something to your backlog. The first step is to reach out to them and go, hey, I hope you're doing well. Is there a practical need that I can meet for you? You see, if you're willing to give value to someone else, they're far more willing to come back to you and purchase something from you later. Were my numbers great during that month? No, and I'd be lying to you if I said I crushed it that month. I didn't. But what I did find was when this market started to turn around, when people started to go out and start buying houses again, when they weren't as afraid, or if they were still afraid, they were wearing masks, and we had all these regulations in place and all these things, which were fine. When they started to come out, you know who the first person they came and saw was? Me. The following couple months after I had done those phone calls, I went on to hit President's Club. I went on to be the second ranked sales consultant out of 900 in the country. And I don't think it was because I had some weird magic medallion or I had this phenomenal sales pitch. I think it was because people knew that I genuinely cared for them. They knew that I was there for them when I had nothing to gain from it. And so when the tides kind of shifted, that's when I went on to have phenomenal success in my career and push me to that next level. So guys, we can sit here all day long. We can talk about overcoming objections. We can talk about marketing. We can talk about follow-up. And all of these things are very, very important. I'm not saying they're not. but don't do those things at the expense of caring for people and truly valuing them and going above and beyond to support them. I hope this video encourages you. I hope you grab something from it and know, hey, we're in a great market now. It won't always be this way. So hopefully you can put this in your back pocket and know in a down market, this is what I'm going to do. And we can dive into some practical stuff in the next couple videos about, outside of just caring for people, ways you can build your pipeline, ways we can, call people, help them navigating bad markets and things like that. And we'll do that. But I didn't want to dive into those first without covering the most important topic, and that is caring for people in a down market. I hope this video encouraged you guys. I will talk to you soon.